r/AskReddit. What is a sign that you're unattractive? Several people send you the same poem about being beautiful on the inside. Yeah, that happened. Damn. When I worked at a homeware store, I greeted a guy and we started conversation, can't remember how, but it ended with him gesturing to my face and saying beauty isn't on the outside, it's on the inside. I'm sure he meant well, but God, did that cause a spiral of self-consciousness. I was only 15. When the popular kids would prank their friends by getting you to ask their friend out. I was asked out by one of the popular girls in high school once. I thought she was messing with me, so I said no. Turns out she genuinely wanted to date me. Low self-esteem sucks. You're 13 and at a sleepover and a fellow 13-year-old you've known for 20 minutes looks you straight in the eye and, unprompted, says you're really ugly. I'm less ugly now, but it was true at the time. When your friends say they want to set you up with someone, and they'll run it by the other person then get back to you, then you never hear about it ever again. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm unattractive. I mean, I simply might not be their type. But also, it's happened a few times now, so. When something bad happens, people don't bend over backwards to tell you it's okay. I once dated an extremely attractive girl who rear-ended a middle-aged gentleman in a nice car and he just laughed it off and told her not to worry about it. It turns out that was not the first time something like that had happened to her. I was baffled and apparently not attractive enough and or wrong gender to have ever experienced something like that in my life. Ha. The day I realized I was unattractive. I was 10 years old, in 5th grade. The governor's wife had cancer, and my 5th grade teacher decided my class would make big get well banner for the governor's wife. I was the only kid that really worked on it. Recesses, lunches, after school, a few other kids had started working on it, but quit after the first day. When it was finished, my teacher took us 4 students and the banner to the Capitol building. A reporter and a photographer from one of the newspapers was there, and they did a little story about it and took a number of pictures. The next morning my dad went to the store to buy a copy of the paper because I was going to be in it. When he found the small article and photo, the picture they used was one where the photographer had our teacher standing to the left of the shot, the other 3 kids from my class we holding 3 of the corners of the banner, and he had moved me to the right out of the shot. I got the obligatory not pictured line in the caption of the photo. That was the day I realized I was ugly, the day that I realized when the kids at school made fun of me, they weren't being mean, they were being honest, that adults saw me as ugly too, and that even a photographer, reporter and an editor of a newspaper decided that a photo for a human interest story would be ruined it. I were in it. I uploaded a bowl of noodles to my Tinder profile and Tinder's algorithm determined it to be my best picture. Ask a child, they will tell you. I used to work with adults with intellectual disorders. Now there is a population that keeps it real. One time one of my program participants looked at my face in full sunlight, smiled sympathetically and touched my arm and said you should wear makeup. Yeah, I know, to be pretty. Guys in high school made a list of their female classmates and ranked them by attractiveness. I expected to be at the bottom, but I wasn't even in it. When your bro's GF offers to hook you up with her single ugly friend, even though she has many other very attractive single friends. One time in high school, these guys came up to me and a group of my friends of 5 girls. They asked us to introduce ourselves, and we started. Once he got to the girl beside me with 2 of us left to introduce, a guy said y'all can stop here, we only need their names. Shattered my self-confidence. When you use Tinder for about a month and it runs out of people to show you and there's no matches, meaning everyone in a 10-mile radius with Tinder looked at your pic and thought nope. Also believe me, I didn't set my standards too high. When a boy takes you on a date and it turns out to be a dare he was put up to by the other boys. I was a complete ducking joke in high school. I lost baby teeth extraordinarily late, so I was missing a ton of teeth, had braces, hadn't developed yet, skin was flipping its with hormones and I looked like hammered dog So their idea to add insult to injury was to take me on a fake date to laugh at me. I was so hurt for the longest time. Then high school ended, I got to college and maturity hit me like a ducking bus. Went from flat to a C. Gained weight. I was scrawny. My teeth came in and the braces came off. Skin calmed down. I'm 21 and I look like I just got into high school. So same boy came back, not realizing who I was when I was visiting home. Stood him up. No joke, stood his ass up, duck you. I don't think I'm especially unattractive, but I used to work with this woman who clearly thought I was. I remember once the topic of ugly people came up. I happened to be looking down, and she reached out and pulled up my chin, looked into my eyes and said, "But we know, is what's inside that counts." So I guess my answer is people making a point of playing up your personality and non-physical good qualities. People don't spontaneously or enthusiastically take pictures of you. I have an acquaintance who is really gorgeous and photogenic. Most of her Facebook posts are her doing these spontaneous photo shoots with her friends, where they do all these yoga/dance poses, jokey model poses, just normal selfies, etc. People just want to take her picture. Another dude I know is also pretty good looking, like normal attractiveness, and looking through his pictures, people just take lots of random pictures of him being spontaneously goofy and funny. For people who are less attractive, taking pictures is more forced. You have to ask people if they can take a picture of you. People kinda reluctantly agree, but they want to get it over with. You won't have many pictures that capture spontaneous fun or goofing around because you had to stop and ask someone. It'll be a quick "hey, we're hanging out" selfie, but we also probably won't look at the picture together. I notice with the more attractive/photogenic people, not only are there more pictures, but people want to look through them and comment on how awesome they are. When the girl sitting next to you in 6th grade Spanish literally turns away when the teacher tells you to work together. Then when she tells the teacher "I don't want to work with him," the teacher looks at you and says you can do this assignment by yourself. When your best friend has you stand on top of your house and yell "I'm ugly and I'm proud" for the whole world to hear. Also, if no one's BF/GF is ever even slightly jealous/suspicious of them hanging out with you. I get some people just don't get jealous, but if no one does, maybe you're just so ugly you're clearly not a threat. When the person you are with won't introduce you to their friends/family. Yes. When I used to be fat, I was dating this guy and he kept me under wraps. Other people found out about us and asked him about it. He claimed he was seeing lots of girls. Due to my low self-esteem, I stayed with him, even though he did deny my existence and always tried to get with other girls. When you're having a hypothetical conversation about dating or relationships and someone has to say "not that I'd ever date you," or they can't even have the conversation because they have to make it really clear that they wouldn't date you, to the point you forget what dating/relationship thing you were even talking about. It's really distracting because you don't want to date them and now you suddenly feel insulted for some reason. I'm not sure where I fall in the scale because I get mixed messages, but I used to be friends with a girl for a year and a half. I could make her smile and laugh every day and have hour-long conversations. She knew I was into her, but she was in a relationship already. Eventually she dumped him and she sent me a snap saying "guess who's single." I took the initiative because if that isn't the biggest hint ever, IDK what is? I asked her out and she said yes. It took a month to set up the date. She stood me up. Haven't talked since. Nice. Really helps too when the last chick I asked out stood me up too. Everything was go that day and I said, "Okay, so where do you want me to pick you up?" "My house," she said. She never told me where she lived before. Then 6 hours later she said, "Oops, sorry, I slept through my alarm." Yeah, her 4:30 PM alarm. You know how you have a nap before telling someone where you live. And before that I got cheated on just after my GF made it official and told everyone. HAA. Fun times. Middle-aged women still say "oh" when they see you if you are older than 18 months old. I'm a woman. Went out to eat with a very beautiful lady friend. The waiter was so infatuated with her that he took her order and forgot to ask me what I wanted. "I'll just have the..." One time when I was in my early 20s there was this super cute girl at Starbucks that I was crushing on. And one day I got the courage to tell her I only come here every day cause of you. You are super pretty. And she says thanks sport, so yeah, if you try and flirt with a girl and she responds with thanks sport, you are probably unattractive lol. In high school, this one guy told another I would be fine if you cut off her head and knock out her teeth. When I heard about it I cried. 30 years later, I'm pretty self-confident with my looks, and I heard that guy's locked up. I win. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.